She was to be hanged at dawn. The most feared gunslinger rode in and called her his bride. The rope creaked against the oak beam, dry as a bone, and the crowd stood silent, not out of respect, but because they were too afraid to breathe. Her name was Alara Voss. Barely 22. Hair like burnt wheat, tied back with a frayed ribbon. Eyes that didn't blink when the sheriff read her sentence, murderer of 3 men in cold blood. They said she shot them in the saloon after they laughed at her brother's grave. They said she didn't cry. Didn't beg. Just stared at the floor like the dirt had swallowed her soul. But no one saw the blood on her hands wasn't theirs. It was her own. The wind picked up, kicking dust into the town square, a gray haze that clung to boots, to shirts, to the tears no one dared shed. A single crow perched on the gallows post, head cocked, watching. Waiting. Like it knew what was coming. And then, he rode in. Not with thunder. Not with guns blazing. Just hooves. Slow. Heavy. Like a man carrying the weight of every grave he'd ever dug. He wore a duster the color of dried blood. His hat shadowed his face, but the scar down his left cheek, long as a knife blade, white as old bone, told everyone who he was before he spoke. Silas Crow. The ghost of Red Hollow. They said he'd killed 30 men with his bare hands. That he drank whiskey from skulls. That he buried his wife alive after she cheated on him, and then rode alone for 7 years without speaking a word. Now he dismounted. No one moved. He walked straight to the gallows. Stopped beneath her. Looked up. Let her down, he said. His voice wasn't loud. But it cracked the silence like a whip. The sheriff stepped forward, hand near his revolver. You ain't in a position to make demands, Crow. Silas didn't touch his gun. He reached into his coat. Took out a wedding band. Rusted. Bent. Dented where teeth had bitten it. He held it up. She's my bride. A murmur rose. Then died. No one believed him. They'd heard stories. Silas Crow never loved anything but vengeance. Never touched a woman without killing her first. But Alara, she looked at the ring. And for the first time since they dragged her here. She wept. The wind howled through the hollow somewhere far off, a train whistle screamed. And the crow took flight. They locked him in the jailhouse cell beside her. No chains. No guards inside. Just 2 chairs. 1 table. A single oil lamp flickering like a dying heartbeat. Alara sat on the floor, knees drawn tight. Her wrists were raw from rope burns. Silas leaned against the wall, eyes closed. You don't know me, she whispered. I know what they made you do, he said. She laughed. Soft. Broken. They didn't make me. I chose it. He opened his eyes. Looked at her. For the first time, she saw the grief in them. Not rage. Not fury. Grief. Like he'd seen this same look in a mirror once. My sister, he said, died in a fire. They blamed her. Said she said it. She was mute. Couldn't speak. Couldn't defend herself. He paused. The men who burned her. I found them. One by one. He lifted his left hand. Fingers twisted. Nails gone. Burned them alive. Silence. Outside, a dog barked. Then stopped. Like someone had cut its throat. I didn't kill those men, Alara said. I know. How? He pulled a folded paper from his pocket. Blood-stained. Smudged ink. A letter. Signed by the mayor. If Miss Voss is executed, the gold mine deed transfers to our company. We pay double if she dies before sunrise. She stared at it. Her breath caught. They framed me, she breathed. To steal your father's land, Silas said. He was a miner. He was a good man. He knelt beside her. Reached out. Didn't touch her. Just let his fingers hover over hers. I lost my wife because I didn't believe her, he said. I won't lose you because I'm too late. She looked away. Tears fell onto the floor. Dust swallowed them. They came at midnight. 3 men. Black hats. Guns drawn. Sheriff's deputies. But their boots were new. Too clean. Their spurs didn't jingle right. Silas heard them before he saw them. He woke Alara with a whisper. Don't move. He stood. Slid his coat open. No gun. Just a long, rusted Bowie knife strapped to his thigh. He opened the cell door. Walked out. One deputy raised his rifle. You're making a mistake, Crow. Silas smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. I've made worse. He moved like smoke. First man went down, knife between ribs. No sound. Second spun, too slow. Silas grabbed his wrist, twisted, snapped it like kindling. The man screamed. Third fired. Bullets tore through wood. Splinters flew. Silas didn't flinch. He lunged. Grabbed the third man's throat. Lifted him off his feet. Who paid you? He growled. The man choked. Eyes wide. Mayor. Gold. Mine. Silas dropped him. Kicked the rifle away. Then turned. Back toward the cell. Alara stood there. Holding the sheriff's pistol. Pointed at him. I can't trust you, she said. I know. Why come back? He didn't answer. Just looked at her. Like he'd been waiting 10 years to see her face. The wind outside moaned. A coyote howled. Far off, a church bell tolled once. Then silence. She lowered the gun. Just slightly. Tell me the truth, she whispered. He stepped closer. Your brother didn't die in a fall, he said. She froze. He was shot. Her breath stopped. By the mayor's son. Her hands shook. That's why I killed them, she said. 3 times. In the saloon. 1 for each bullet they put in him. Silas nodded. I saw you do it. You were there. I was hiding. In the rafters. In the dark. He looked at his hands again. They told me you were a monster. And now? I think, she said, voice breaking, you're the only man who ever saw me, and didn't turn away. He reached into his coat. Took out a small leather pouch. Opened it. Inside, 2 bullets. 1 silver. 1 black. Silver's for the mayor, he said. Black's for me. She stared. What are you saying? I'm saying, he whispered, we don't both make it out of this. She took the black bullet. Pressed it into her palm. Closed her fist. I'm not letting you die for me. You already did, he said. They slipped out through the back alley. Dust still thick in the air. Moonlight sharp as broken glass. The town slept. Or pretended to. They passed the livery stable. Horses snorted. One tossed its head, like it knew. They reached the edge of town. Where the road split. One way led to the mine. The other, to the river. Silas stopped. Turned to her. You should go. Where? North. Find the Sisters of Mercy in Silver Creek. Tell them Silas Crow sent you. She shook her head. No, he gripped her shoulder. Hard. Do you want to live? Yes. Then go. She looked up at him. Tears streaked through the dust on her cheeks. I love you. He didn't move. Didn't breathe. His jaw clenched. His eyes filled. Then he kissed her. Soft. Slow. Like it was the last prayer he'd ever say. When he pulled away, he whispered, I've waited 17 years to hear those words. Then he turned. Walked toward the mine. She watched him go. Until he vanished into the dark. And then, she ran. Not north. Not to safety. Straight toward the mayor's house. The house glowed like a candle in a graveyard. Lights in every window. Music playing inside. Laughter. Men drinking. The mayor sat at the head of the table, cigar smoldering, gold pocket watch gleaming. His son sat beside him. Smiling. Still wearing the boots from that day. The boots that crushed her brother's skull. Elara stepped onto the porch. Knocked. Once. The music stopped. The door opened. The mayor blinked. Miss Voss. She held up the black bullet. Did you know, she said, Silas Crow was my husband? His smile died. Behind her, the crunch of boots. She didn't turn. She didn't need to. Silas stood in the moonlight. Gun in hand. Not aimed at the mayor. At himself. Put the gun down, the mayor snarled. Silas didn't move. I've spent 10 years hunting men like you, he said. Tonight. I hunt redemption. The mayor lunged for his pistol. Silas fired. The bullet didn't hit him. It hit the chandelier. Glass exploded. Candles plunged the room into shadow. In the chaos, Elara raised the silver bullet. Pressed it into the mayor's chest. Then pulled the trigger. The shot echoed. The room went quiet. The mayor collapsed. His son screamed. Silas staggered. Blood bloomed across his shirt. He hadn't fired. She had. He looked at her. Eyes wide. You used me. She stepped forward. Took his hand. It wasn't for revenge. She pressed his fingers around the gun. It was for us. He tried to speak. Couldn't. His knees buckled. She caught him. Lowered him to the floor. The boy ran. Out the back. Into the night. No one chased him. No one cared. Silas coughed. Blood bubbled on his lips. I thought. I was saving you. She kissed his forehead. You did. He smiled. Tiny. Fragile. Like a flame in a storm. I'm sorry. I didn't say it sooner. She held him tighter. I know. He exhaled. His body went still. His hand stayed warm in hers. Outside, the wind picked up. Dust swirled through the broken windows. Covered his face. Like he was being buried. Right there. On the floor. Of the man who killed his wife. Who killed her brother. Who killed them both. The sun rose. Red as fresh blood. The townsfolk gathered. Found the mayor dead. Found Silas Crow dead. Found Elara standing over him. Hands clean. Eyes empty. No one asked what happened. No one wanted to know. They buried Silas under a pine tree just beyond the cemetery. No marker. Just a stone. Carved with 2 names. Silas Crow. Elara Voss. They said she vanished that night. Some claimed she rode north. Others swore they saw her at dawn, kneeling beside his grave. Wearing his duster. Holding his knife. And singing. A lullaby. From her childhood. Before the fire. Before the lies. Before the bullets. They say if you ride past that grave on a quiet morning, when the dust hangs low and the wind doesn't stir, you'll hear it. That song. Soft. Broken. Sweet. And if you listen close enough, you'll swear two voices sing it. One deep. One trembling. One still breathing. One forever still. The coyotes stop howling when she passes. The crows fly west. And the land? It remembers. Always. It remembers the girl who loved a ghost. And the ghost who loved her enough to die. And the truth? The truth is. She never left. She just learned how to walk in silence. And sometimes, on nights when the moon is full, you can still see her. Standing beside the grave. Dust on her shoulders. Gun at her hip. Waiting. For him. Or for justice. Or maybe, just for the wind to carry her name. So someone, somewhere, will finally say it aloud. Ilara. Not murderer. Not whore. Not monster. Just a woman. Who loved a man no one else believed in. And refused to let his death be forgotten. The wind howls through the hollows. And somewhere, a child picks up a rusted wedding band. And wonders, why it smells like gunpowder. And sorrow. And bread. Because she baked him a loaf the night before. And tucked it into his coat. He never ate it. But he carried it. All the way. To the end.